Good evening and welcome to the FIFA Club World Cup live here in LFS this Sunday evening and our second game of the day of this double header as we watch Group H action this evening. Real Madrid taking on Pachuca, two sides that met in the Club World Cup final of last year when Real Madrid won it, and we'll see how they do this time around. Real Madrid, they need the win tonight. We know they do after that draw with Al Hilal on match day 1. A win is a must, and Xabi Alonso making sure his side know that. Of course, only his second game in charge of Los Blancos this evening for Xabi Alonso. As the players coming out, the Real Madrid players already out onto the field. The Pachuca players are following suit. Let's show you then the teams, excuse me, the teams for this one, starting with Real Madrid. They start with Thibaut Courtois in goal. A back four of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Raul Asencio, Dean Huyson and Fran Garcia in the defence. Aurelien Tchouameni's alongside captain Fede Valverde and Jude Bellingham in a midfield three, with Arda Güler on the right side, Vinicius Jr. on the left side, and Gonzalo Garcia, another new signing at Real Madrid, a new player in the senior lineup. He leads the line for Madrid this evening. On the bench, lots of stars involved there. Lunin, Gonzalez, Rudiger, Vasquez, Ramon, Fortea, Aguado, Modric, Ceballos, Brahim, Enriquez, Martin, Andres, Rodrigo and Munoz. For Pachuca, beaten 3-0 in the Intercontinental Cup against Real Madrid last year. They start with Moreno in goal, Carlos Moreno, a back four of Luis Rodriguez, Eduardo Bauerman, Federico Pereira and Brian Gonzalez in defence. In midfield, Elias Montiel alongside Alan Bautista, with Augustin Pallavicino in the 10. On the right hand side is Figueroa, on the left hand side Kennedy, and leading the line at Solomon Rondon for Pachuca. And their bench, Jurado, Aceves, Barreto, Berlanga, Cabral, Sanchez, Guzman, Homonchenko, Lopez, Luna, Pedraza, Rodriguez, Hernandez, Kennedy and Hurtado. So, Real Madrid know it's a must-win game for them this evening. They know that they need to get a win on the board, but so do Pachuca after their comeback defeat against RB Salzburg. We're in the sunny city of Charlotte in North Carolina for this one. Really looking forward to it here between Real Madrid and Pachuca at the Bank of America Stadium in Group H of the FIFA Club World Cup. Kickoff is next. Welcome in. Great to have you with us for our second commentary of the day. Doubleheader here, and Real Madrid are the feature alongside Pachuca this evening in this one. Looking forward to this one in Group H. Real Madrid, with that draw against Al Hilal, sees them in second in this group. They can leapfrog Salzburg up into first with a win this evening, but of course Salzburg play Al Hilal later this evening. So it could come down to match day 3 when Real Madrid play Salzburg to decide top spot if both end up with victories here this evening. Our VAR, there he is, from Argentina, Hernan Mastrangelo is our VAR. Give us a nice little look there. And our referee, Ramon Abate Abel from Brazil this evening. So South American members of the officiating team. Of course, Pachuca from Mexico, so there's no kind of interest there, as we're about to get underway in a moment or so here in the FIFA Club World Cup Group H. Obviously Real Madrid taking on Pachuca, and we didn't get to watch Real Madrid on match day 1, of course, unfortunately, but that Al Hilal game certainly excited in Xabi Alonso's first game in charge of Los Blancos, but that draw sets them up for, as I said, a must-win fixture tonight in this one. A must-win. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. It's great to have you all with us for this one this evening to round off our match day 2 coverage of the Club World Cup. And of course we'll start match day 3 coverage from tomorrow evening. 4 days in a row to round off the group stages of this competition before we head to the knockouts in 6 days' time on Saturday evening. So looking forward to that one. And when we get underway on Saturday in the knockout stages of this competition. This is officially, as we're about to get underway here in Charlotte, this is game 30 of the tournament. So we're almost at the halfway stage. By the end of this evening, we will be past the halfway mark of this campaign, of this tournament. 63 matches in total. We're in match 30 here this evening, as Real Madrid get us underway. Their home strip of all white for Los Blancos, and Pachuca in their away strip this evening of that navy blue is the differential. And as I said, these two sides met fairly recently in the FIFA Intercontinental Cup back in December, and Real Madrid winning that by 3-0 against Pachuca in that occasion. That was in Qatar at the Lusail Stadium. They won 3-0. Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. Three scorers in that 3-0 victory. Of course, that was under Carlo Ancelotti. Before that man, Xabi Alonso, was appointed. He was still the Bayer Leverkusen coach, obviously, back then. But under new regime are Real Madrid. Under a new manager, some new players, a new era for Real Madrid to try and reassert European dominance. And here they're trying to break forward quickly as Vinicius Jr. in the box. Shielded well by the Pachuca defender Bowerman, and sees it out for the goal kick. But Vinny Jr. was causing a threat there early. There's the Pachuca head coach, Jaime Lozano. He's not too dusty yet, as they say. It's not an old figure at the club, Jaime Lozano. Only the Pachuca coach since May of this year, so it's only his second game in charge. As now they're trying to break through Solomon Rondon on the run. But that was well defended by Raul Asencio, but Solomon Rondon certainly gave him a run for his money there. Puts it behind for the corner. That man is no doubting his experience, Solomon Rondon. Surprised Rafa Benitez isn't in the vicinity, because he absolutely loved him. Everywhere Rafa Benitez went, Solomon Rondon went with him. Corner here for Pachuca on the right-hand side. Early in this one for the Mexicans. The Mexican side. Try and take the lead. Or at least try and get a good effort into the box. Left-footed delivery from the right side. Whipped across, and the shot is dragged wide. Flashed wide from Solomon Rondon. I think it deflected on the way through, but what a delivery and what a connection on the volley from Solomon Rondon. Sweeping it with his right foot. And it deflects off the head. I think it might have been Fran Garcia. And that will be a corner. That would have been a terrible start for Los Blancos if that had went in. They still have to defend this corner. Montiel over to take it. Elias Montiel, the midfielder for Pachuca. Let's see what he can deliver this time again. Right-footed, swung across, headed away at the near post by the Real Madrid defence. Chouameni in that occasion. And the ball all the way back with the Pachuca goalkeeper in Moreno, who thumps it forward, putting pressure on the Real Madrid defence again, but Asencio heads it into the middle. Alexander-Arnold dribbles nicely past one and dragged back by another, and that's going to be a Real Madrid free kick. Well, of course, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to Real Madrid. The two signings in that back line, one more higher profile than the other, surely, from the way that they've come about, but both have come from England and English football clubs for the summer. We've got to talk about that man at centre forward, Gonzalo Garcia, as well. But Pachuca have started really well here, and they tried the through ball there, which forced Thibaut Courtois to make a run and thump it away. They started with a lot of confidence, this Latin American side. Pachuca just trying to break the press of Real Madrid. I mean, how is it 4 minutes gone already? Right to the right-hand side here for Rodriguez. Plays it into Montiel. And now Figueroa is trying to work it in behind. And Fran Garcia had a bit of a bother there to deal with, but he dealt with it. And now it's come through for Bellingham here for Madrid. Trying to carry them up the field, give them a little bit of control they've not had so far in the early moments. As Bellingham finds Alexander-Arnold, back to Bellingham, a little bit heavy from Alexander-Arnold, and Pachuca win it back as Rondon was held there by Raul Asencio. And that's going to be a push and a free kick to Pachuca. Well, they've got a good name as well, Pachuca. Not to make fun of them, but it's a nice sounding name. If that makes any sense. And taking that free kick, it's come out to the left-hand side here for Gonzalez. Pereira to Bowerman. There's a lot of white shirts in the Bank of America Stadium this afternoon. Real Madrid probably the biggest pulling power of any of the teams in this competition, you would say. No doubt about it. They pull fans no matter where Real Madrid go in the world. They're a global powerhouse of football. That's why they'll have, and probably the most ambition to win this tournament out of any team in it. And Real Madrid would back themselves against any opponent, but the new regime, Xabi Alonso, might not be fully getting his message across because of the early stages. That's a lovely ball in behind here for Pachuca, and that's a drag down, and that's going to be a red card. Solomon Rondon's running behind and dragging him down, Raul Asencio, and that's a terrible moment for him, and it's a red card for Real Madrid. They are down to 10 inside 7 minutes, and it's completely the correct decision. I mean, he's decades onside here. Dean Hyson's playing him on. Solomon Rondon gets him behind Raul Asencio, and Asencio just grapples him to the ground, really. He was last man. Well, to be fair, it's a little tug. It's not... Yeah, it's just a little bit clumsy from Raul Asencio, though. The referee has pulled out the red. He's brandished that red card. Of course, we might see VAR have a say, but Raul Asencio has been shown a red here. But that's a little bit naive defensively from Raul Asencio. Yeah, he's been sent here. I guess to take his orders and his marching orders, and I don't think VAR are going to overturn this. He really had no real argument to it. Raul Asencio, he was last man, he was beaten. And now a chance for Pachuca right on the edge of the D, or right on the edge of the box, inside the D, fairly central, to try and add insult to injury here. The shot is flying over the bar, and that was Palavecino was the one that had that effort, flying over the bar. And there's the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, yeah, who is watching on. And that's not the start that Real Madrid would have wanted. An early red card. And they're down to 10. And with so far, their backs against the wall, really, Real Madrid. In the first 8.5 minutes here in this one. Here's Hysson. Finding at Fran Garcia. Now Vinny Jr. trying to flick on to Fran Garcia. He holds on to it well on that left side. As Vinny Jr. tries to get back on the ball, he thought he was fouled. The referee says no. And now Pachuca are on the move. Up the other end. Here is Rondon. He's got a runner off him. He's played it through. The chance. Can he get a shot off? He can, but it's hit the side netting. And that was Canada, I believe, that had that effort. And it's just gone and hit the side netting and wide. I gotta say, Real Madrid under the cosh. Yeah, it was. It was Rondon that was just holding it up, waiting for that run. He was onside again. The back line of Real Madrid not in sync at the moment. And Dean Howson, I think, is the one that's the deepest on both occasions. Now the back line's been put into question, and they're just not in shape at the moment, Real Madrid, when they're being run at by the attackers of Pachuca, and they're playing them onside. It's creating those issues, creating those problems, and causing all those early issues for the Real Madrid defence. And that offside, that back line, that high line from Real Madrid that wasn't matched by Dean Howson is what led to that moment that saw Raul Asensio's departure. Who said it was ever going to be easy for Xabi Alonso? That's a nice little combination there, though. And here's Fede Valverde trying to feed it through to Vinny Jr., but nicely defended by the Pachuca defence again. Pereira this time intercepting. And Real Madrid just retrieve the ball again. Well, we expect Real Madrid to dominate possession. We expected that anyway coming into this game, but even now down to 10 men, you still expect Real Madrid to have a lot of control of the ball, but it's just about when they lose the ball, or if they lose the ball in transition, how vulnerable could they be with one less defender on the field. And my expectation is that they will be tested time and time again with those runners in behind, because already their offside trap is pretty flawed at the moment, Real Madrid. It's not working to the extent of probably what their nearest rivals, Barcelona, would be getting out of a high back line that we've seen all across the last season. How perfect it is. How many troubles it caused Real Madrid when they played each other in El Clasico. But again, as I said, it's a new regime, it's a new system, it's a new way of playing for these Real Madrid players. Xabi Alonso is all about control, all about possession, all about dominating a game. Whereas Carlo Ancelotti was all about moving fast and using your quality players to carry you up the field, get you into good areas. Now Pachuca working between the lines, trying to feed it through was Rondon again, but Howson was in the way this time. And here's Fran Garcia, who was slightly pushed there as he tried to hold on to the ball, and that's going to be a free kick to Real Madrid. There's no shortage of Madridistas inside the Bank of America Stadium here this afternoon. A lot of young fans watching Real Madrid for the very first time. This stadium has the third highest capacity in the tournament, 75,000 capacity for the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm sure it wouldn't be too far away from having a very good attendance today. Very filled stadium. There's white shirts everywhere you look. Nice flick on by Alexander-Arnold down the right side there, but couldn't make the most of it, Gonzalo Garcia. Zemas says, who do you think would win, Real Madrid or PSG? It's a good question, but I'd say at the minute PSG, because you know, we put a lot on. It's not about who's got the better individual players, it's who's the better team. And at the minute, you would say PSG, being the European champions, would be the better team. But Real Madrid have got players that can carve you apart. So do PSG, obviously, but Real Madrid have got individuals that can win a game. So they're not completely counted out of it just because they're not the best team at the minute. And as I said, Xabi Alonso, new manager. Oh, the mistake from the keeper. Oh, he's very lucky. Very lucky there, Carlos Moreno, that he didn't. 1, give away a penalty. 2, get sent off or get a yellow card. And 3, didn't concede a goal. He is incredibly lucky. He just about got away with it, but just by the skin of his teeth. That's what I mean about Real Madrid. Yes, they might be down to 10, but All it takes is one mistake, one moment, one individual press that can catch Pachuca out, and Real Madrid can capitalise. The referee's taking none of this at the moment. A little bit of arguing between the players, and the Brazilian referee taking a no-tolerance approach towards that. Well, Real Madrid are committing bodies forward. They're not afraid to. We've already seen that. They've got bodies up the field for this free kick, which Trent Alexander-Arnold is over. Or due to his latest rebrand, just Trent now. Trying to take on the Beyonce approach. Alexander-Arnold lifting it towards the box. Too close to Carlos Moreno, who can catch, but there was two white shirts in the vicinity. Oh, Moreno's clearance. Instantly intercepted. Getting a little bit more of the ball in the last few minutes, Real Madrid. Getting up the field a little bit better. I'm wondering, does this game become a little bit more cagey with Real Madrid going down to 10? Or do Pachuca just try and commit more bodies forward, try something, really? Try and be a little bit more dictatorial. As there's going to be an issue here. I think there's an issue with the ball that the players weren't happy with. So, see this again from Moreno. Oh my goodness, how lucky he is. The ball gets away from him. Vinny Jr.'s right on top of him, and he just about gets the ball away in the nick of time. He is incredibly lucky. That could have been any one of three different outcomes. Penalty, a booking, or a goal. Could have been two of those three outcomes. Could have got a booking and a penalty given against him. But none of them came about as he just about got the ball away, but literally by a half a second, if that. And they've... Well, it's not actually been dominant in possession-wise, Real Madrid, because they did start poorly. I gotta say, you know, the first 10 minutes of this game, they were struggling, Real Madrid. You know, when 11v11, they were still being tested. A couple of corners from Pachuca in the first few minutes, and Real Madrid weren't on form from the opening, from the get-go. And then the red card just made it a little bit worse for them, and they slowly are gradually getting into the game and gradually trying to take control of this, but they didn't have a great start. They're working it well here. Alexander-Arnold trying to work towards the box. Deflected and dealt with. As Real Madrid will try and break away. Or Pachuca try breaking away. And they're in behind here. Solomon Rondon, he's on his own here. He got the build-up and the chance, the shot. It's pound out. Oh, what a save by Courtois. Double save by the Real Madrid keeper to keep his team on level terms at the minute, and there's going to be a free kick and a yellow card that will give Real Madrid a bit of respite. But Solomon Rondon on the counter. I said about how vulnerable Real Madrid could be on the counter. Ball's given away. Chip down the left-hand side. The space is gaping for Solomon Rondon. He runs into the only white shirt in front of him. And the ball bounces back to Kennedy, who has the shot. Saved by Courtois, then bounces back out to the other winger who has the shot, Figueroa, and a great save again by Thibaut Courtois. And again, Pachuca on the breakaway, looking a threat but not taking that big chance that just came their way. And the yellow card's been handed out for that foul a moment or two ago to Augustin Palavicino in the midfield. That's a long ball over the top. Bellingham will chase, but oh, Barrowman was caught there. Pachuca defence a little bit wobbly. Here's Vinny Jr. trying to shoot, worked the angle, didn't quite find it. Starting to wobble a little bit, Pachuca defensively there. Oh, that's a little loose one. Oh, it's given away. That's going to be a foul. Rondon is causing all sorts of problems here. And this time the foul goes against him. Aurelien Tchouameni was the last man and he was dragged down by Rondon. But Rondon is causing all sorts of problems one-on-one against the Real Madrid defence. The target for Pachuca, get the ball to Rondon as soon as you possibly can. That's the way it seems to be going. Fran Garcia. Dean Huyson has to work it back to Courtois. "20 minutes gone. Real Madrid 0, Pachuca 0. But the big moment of the game so far, Raul Asencio's kind of dismissal after a last man challenge on Solomon Rondon. The referee quick to pull out the red card. No questions asked, and completely the correct decision. That's the big moment so far. As I said before the game, this is a must-win for Real Madrid. After the draw with Al Hilal on match day 1, they know that 3 points is a necessary requirement of this game. Or if they fail to do that and say they get a draw out of this, they're at the mercy of the other teams in this group. As Salzburg and Al Hilal play later, Real Madrid could be just trying to scrap for second place if they don't win this game. If, for example, Salzburg were to beat Al Hilal later, that would take them, if Real Madrid drew, that would take them a good 5 points ahead. Or 4 points ahead, sorry, of Real Madrid in the table, so unattainable. That is only if Salzburg win later and Real Madrid fail to win here. Anyway, we're talking a bit early. Long way to go. Pachuca holding the possession for the moment here. Canady. Across the midfield goes the ball. Rodriguez. Pereira working it forward. It's still here with Pallavicino, but knocks it well wide. Linked up well there with Solomon Rondon, did Pallavicino, and in the end whacked his effort well wide. As we see that challenge between Rondon and Tchouameni again. He's causing all sorts of problems, but it was definitely a foul a little earlier. And Canady was down there for a moment, the left winger for Pachuca, but he's back to his feet. Well, Solomon Rondon, I did say he has no shortage of experience. 35-year-old from Venezuela. I said he used to follow Rafa Benitez everywhere he went. And, he has a lot of English experience as well. He was at West Brom, at Newcastle, and at Everton as well. Solomon Rondon. His actually last 3 transfers have all been on a free transfer to respective clubs. Everton, then River Plate, and now Pachuca, who he joined in January of last year. 18 months at Pachuca. And here's a chance for Real Madrid. Bellingham trying to play it on to Alexander-Arnold, but not quite finding his international teammate on that occasion, but Real Madrid will get the throw. Solomon Rondon's been round the world and back again. And Vinicius Jr. carving sides open, and the cross for Garcia was skied over the bar. I think there was a deflection in there as well from the defender. He got a touch. It is a corner to Real Madrid. Their first of the game. And Gonzalo Garcia was the man whose shot was deflected and will win this corner. The 21-year-old Spaniard, Gonzalo Garcia, got his debut goal and Real Madrid's only goal of that 1-1 draw with Al Hilal. Let's see what the corner can deliver for Real Madrid then. Alexander-Arnold on the left side. Right-footed in-swinger. And right into the hands of Carlos Moreno, who unleashes an attempt of a counter. Kennedy does really well, and neither 4-on-4 here. Pallavicino chips it over the top, floats it towards Rondon, and the man's gone down. Is that a penalty? They were calling for it, but the referee says no. Alexi Figueroa is denied a possible penalty there by the referee from Brazil. Pachuca will make the claim. It was Arda Güler. Yeah, no, they just tangled legs. That's not a penalty. As much as I'm sure that the Hollywood scriptwriters would love that to be a penalty, it wasn't. They just got their legs tangled. Someone asked how that happens. It just happens. They are checking though. They are checking, but it looked to me like they just tangled legs more than anything. Well, the referee has to wait on the VAR having a look at this. Ramon Abate is our referee. Very experienced in Brazil. Over 100 top flight matches in Brazil refereed, but they are checking this now, the VAR, to see if Pachuca will have a penalty. And one of the fans saying there's the signal, and the signal that the referee gives is play on. No penalty. Yeah, it's the right decision. As I said, as much as the scriptwriters would love it to be a penalty, it's not. It's not. I gotta say, Real Madrid have been really struggling. One shot so far in this game to Pachuca 6. They just haven't been able to get towards the box very much. Real Madrid or test Carlos Moreno very much. It's been Vinicius Jr. that's been their most threatening player so far for Madrid, but barely seen anything of their midfield. Barely seen much of Bellingham. Or kind of on that right hand side, it's all really with Fede Valverde even. He's kind of trying to deal with things. Arda Güler we've not really seen very much of. In an attacking sense, Madrid have just struggled. And of course they're down to 10, they would struggle. But they've just been a little bit hampered. Of course that early red card is something that I'm sure would have been in Xabi Alonso's nightmares. So the pressure of this football club, the last thing you want to set yourself up for at Real Madrid in your early days is a match day 3 game where you must win or you could be heading out of the tournament. That could be a realistic thing come the end of this week. Of course, we might be jumping the gun a little bit there, but they're 0-0 with Pachuca, down to 10 men. They need the win here to give themselves a little bit of breathing room heading into match day 3. If they don't win here, they're in a really tough position, a really bad position, Real Madrid in this group, considering many would have said they should have cakewalked this group, but it's not always that simple. Here's Alexander Arnold. Heavy touch there by Güler. And found upon by the left back there, Gonzalez, but I think there was going to be a foul against him. I think he kind of caught Gonzalo Garcia in the face there, just a little bit inadvertently, but he did catch him. Remember that other game in this group between Salzburg and Al Hilal is later this evening. It's an 11 o'clock kickoff UK time. That is taking place in Audi Field in Washington. It's not the most dramatic thing going on in Washington at the moment, but we'll not go there at this minute in time. Through ball here. Here's Garcia for Real Madrid. Gonzalo Garcia. But not getting very much further with it as Pachuca win it back, and Rondon laying off Pallavicino, but no room for him to manoeuvre as it's won back by Real Madrid in the midfield. Bellingham out wide to Vinicius Jr. Trying to drive towards the box. He's laid it off for Jude Bellingham, who holds it off, and Arda Güler had the effort but hits it wide. That was better from Real Madrid. Winning the ball back and moving it quickly. We'll see that penalty check again, that penalty claim, but it's coming together more than anything. It's just a tangling of legs. There's just nothing in it. Not for me. Not for me at all. I think the referee got the right decision. Look at that stadium. Look at this. What a sight. You got to say, American stadiums are unique. Unique in the way that they're kind of structured. It's just beautiful. I love an open air stadium. Of course, you can't have them in the UK because it's always bloody raining. We have a cooling break at the moment, so we've seen that more recently over the last few days in this tournament. Of course, once the temperature gets above a certain heat, you do need to have a cooling break halfway through the half. So that is what's going on at the moment in this one. 34 Celsius in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it is quite a baking sun heat. And we're going to have this little break in play. Don't forget, though, tomorrow we have Group B action on match day 3 as we round off a couple of our groups over across the week. And Atletico Botafogo is our game tomorrow evening. 8 o'clock alongside Seattle Sounders against Paris Saint-Germain, the European champions, whose job aren't done yet either. So we'll see what comes of that one tomorrow night. Looking forward to that tomorrow, 8 o'clock for those two games. And the same across the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. One group that kicks off at 8 o'clock. We'll have for you groups B, C, F and G, I believe, are our 4 groups that we will be covering across the week. And of course, we'll recap all the other groups for you. And we had a look at that red card incident again. Yeah, it was definitely a red. It was just a little bit clumsy from Raul Asencio. And that early dismissal, 7th minute of the game, he was sent packing. Barely broke a sweat, really, Raul Asencio. And he was already going in for that early shower. Well, so far, so good for Pachuca, really. But at the moment, Real Madrid could be the happier of the two sides that they haven't gone behind, considering they're down to 10 in this one. Jasmine says Real Madrid or Pachuca. Well, at the moment, there's very little to separate the two sides. I think Pachuca are getting forward a lot better, obviously because of the 11 men and they're playing against 10. But for a moment, you know, Real Madrid haven't crumbled. They haven't fallen apart. They are still very much competing in this game, so they're not down and out. And you would say you'd put that against each other if Real Madrid can keep the balance right. I think they can still win this game, but it's about finding that balance and not being committing too many bodies forward and leaving yourself too vulnerable on the counter, and also just not trying to sit in too deep and then kind of trying to soak up the pressure too much. It's finding that balance between the two that Real Madrid need to find, being down to 10 men. That is the task for them. But so far they've done it pretty well, I'd say. Finding that balance. Gonzalez to Montiel in the midfield. To Rodriguez. Right to Figueroa down the right hand side, trying to play it forward, but nicely intercepted by Fran Garcia. Real tussling for the ball there on that left side. We'll see a Real Madrid throw. Real Madrid throw was a little bit wasted. They'll give the ball right back to Pachuca here. Here's Gonzalez. Back to Pereira. Through the lines, finding Montiel, who will have an effort. But that's low and hard, right at the goalkeeper there, Thibaut Courtois. It was worth a hit from Elias Montiel, but It was catching practice, if that, really, for Thibaut Courtois. 19 years old, Elias Montiel. And now here's Real Madrid down the left-hand side here. A chance to break forward. They find that balance. Here's Bellingham! And there's the goal. There's what I said about Real Madrid finding the balance. And Jude Bellingham find the balance perfectly. Charging through into the box and rifling one into the bottom right corner. Jude Bellingham loving that moment and giving Real Madrid the opener. Down to 10, but that doesn't give them any disadvantage. This is Real Madrid we're talking about, and they take the lead. Lovely little reverse ball round the corner from Fran Garcia. The ball played back across. Bellingham making the run towards the box and absolutely thumping it into the far corner. Carlos Moreno barely tested by Real Madrid in the first 30 minutes or so, but he was more than tested there. And he failed that test. And Jude Bellingham passed with flying colours. Real Madrid 1, Pachuca 0. And that's the moment Real Madrid were waiting for. And Jude Bellingham, one of the stars of this team. And he is showing off his stardom. He'd been quiet so far in the game. But on that occasion, he was certainly not quiet. He made his voice heard with that left boot of his. And now Pachuca have to commit a bit more now. They find themselves behind. Ball chipped across the box. Oh, the header. Still alive here as Caoimhan did well to scramble it away. And now they're on the move again, Real Madrid on the counter. Vinicius Jr. on the right side. Couldn't really get forward on that right-hand side. Had to play it back to Alexander-Arnold, but it's going to be a free kick as he was fouled off the ball and was looking for a yellow card, but he's not going to get one. The player that committed the foul. Thank you very much for joining us, OJ Singh in the chat. Great to have you with us. Thank you very much. Yeah, we do apologise for the little delay. So the match map on my side here, beside the face cam, is a little bit ahead of my commentary, but there's nothing really much we can do about that. Because of the broadcaster we're using in the UK, there's not really much we can do. Yeah, I'll try to be as quick as I possibly can. I'll make it up for the commentary of the goal. There we go. I'll do a deal. Safwan, who was sent off? It was Raul Asencio was sent off. Last man challenge on Solomon Rondon after just 7 minutes. But as I said, that Real Madrid red card, they took a while to get to grips. I said they need to find that balance. And they did. And that's where the goal came from. Asencio gets sent off. Raul Asencio, the centre-back of Real Madrid. Valverde was a little bit overzealous on that one, and Figueroa tried to get around him, but Valverde blocked off that. And out for a Pachuca throw on the right side. 7 minutes of the 45 to go here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Real Madrid 1, Pachuca 0. Real Madrid down to 10. Was it worth it? It was a little bit clumsy from Raul Asencio, if I'm honest. Another effort from distance there from Pereira this time, and that was well off target. No real concern for Thibaut Courtois on that occasion. Yes, shout out OJ Singh. Thank you very much for joining us. Can we refrain from spamming a little bit, please? No problem. Right, here we go. Real Madrid in behind again. Another chance is Vinicius Jr. He can't get the shot off. It's falling for Bellingham, who was blocked as he entered the box. And then the battle sees it out for the throw. Well, Real Madrid, that goal's given them that confidence. They're feeling a little bit more comfortable on the ball now. that extra little bit of motivation, shall we say. Real Madrid, as I said, they need to win this one. It's not a do or die if they don't win it, but, you know, it would put them under a lot of pressure going into match day 3. Gonzalez with a cross. And that headed over the bar by Solomon Rondon. As I said, has been causing problems. He's been the main threat for Pachuca so far. Experienced centre forward. On that occasion, his header was directed over the bar. Well, what does Group H look like as it stands? Well, Real Madrid would be top of the table as it stands. They would be on 4 points. But remember, Salzburg and Al Hilal still have to play this evening, and if either of those two win, they could both have the chance to go above Real Madrid come the end of the evening. So Real Madrid could still be second by the end of match day 2 in the group. As long as they're in the top 2, I'm sure Real Madrid won't care really where they finish, because they'll want to top the group, but they'll take what's going to be given to them here, remember. It's not been the most comfortable of starts for Real Madrid in this competition. They do lead. As Chouameni tried the ball down the left channel, but Fran Garcia was charging towards it. He wasn't that quick. Out for the throw. Who's the best player so far? I would say, well, Bellingham would have to take the cake on that one because he has the lead. But Solomon Rondon gets a very honourable mention. He's been very impressive. He's caused, I mean, he's the one that was involved in the red card incident that was causing those problems. I mean, in the early moments, Pachuca were playing those balls in behind the Real Madrid defence, and they just didn't have any control over it, Real Madrid. They were getting torn apart in the first couple of minutes, and Solomon Rondon was tearing them to pieces. Here's Kennedy, and he will have a shot, and Courtois forced to make the save. That's a good save by Courtois. That's another long ranger from Pachuca. And that's a little bit of a niggly foul. Unnecessarily given away there by Elias Montiel. Free kick. No worries, OJ. That's what we're here for. Interacting with the chat. It's great to have you with us and enjoying the stream so far. Remember, we will take a break at half time. We'll analyse the first half at half time. Oh, where that's come from. We'll analyse the game at half-time, remember. See how it's going. That's a lovely switch ball here. Here's Alexander-Arnold. He squared it across. It's laid off. And here's the chance, and there's 2-0. Arda Güler with a second. 10 men what for Real Madrid. They have hit high gear, and they're going off into the sunset. They double their lead, and Arda Güler with a goal. And that all started from that space that Alexander-Arnold picked up on the right side. He played it into the box. It was laid off in the middle by Gonzalo Garcia. And Arda Güler making the run around the defence. Slots it past Carlos Moreno and doubled Real Madrid's lead. That's just beautiful. Alexander-Arnold darts it across. It was well held up by Gonzalo Garcia. Fabulous little layoff. Deftly to Arda Güler, who made the run around the defenders. Beautiful touch. And a right-footed strike off the instep into the far corner. Fabulous goal. Real Madrid are having fun. And who'd have thought it? When they went down to 10 men, you thought they could be under real bother and in real bother. But Pachuca have been sucker punched by Real Madrid. And the 10 men of Real Madrid. 2-0. Both goals are beautiful, by the way. No worries, OJ. Great to have you with us. Zemus, what are you talking about? That's what I said about Real Madrid. They've got the individuals, they've got the quality. Even when they are down to 10, they've got the quality to find a way through. That's a lovely little drag back, and oh, he's trying it all, Vinicius Junior here. He's having too much fun. Tried to flick it over the head of the defender. He didn't quite catch it right on that one. And you got to say, it's good to see. They've got unbelievable quality, Real Madrid. And don't be sorry. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Don't be sorry. But, yeah, the quality of Real Madrid is just on another level. Canady on that left-hand side. As the 45 minutes have surpassed. See how long's added on. Pereira will lift one into the box towards Figueroa, but couldn't quite find his teammate. And we will have 4 additional minutes at the end of the first half. 4 minutes. Rondon laying it off here. And there's nowhere for Pallavicino to go. Now Alexander-Arnold picks it up. As they're moving forward there, Real Madrid, but there's a Pachuca player that stayed down. It's Pallavicino. And slowly getting back to his feet. And he should be okay. He was just kind of carried through, and then it's a good challenge by Fede Valverde. And he just kind of maybe caught on the way through, but it wasn't a foul. And he's okay to continue. No worries, don't worry about having to leave or having to come back. Don't worry about that. Come and go as you please. Free country. Of course, it would be nice if you stayed, but no one's holding you at gunpoint. Look at that from Vinny Jr., the drag back to just take him completely away from his marker, and then he tried to do the overhead flick to get past the defender, but didn't quite work out on that occasion. Two minutes of the first half to go, and considering how the first half started, Real Madrid will be over the moon with how it looks like it will be heading into half time. Going down to 10 men so early in the game could have derailed a must-win game for them, but Xabi Alonso's side settled and allowed themselves just to get a bit of control in the game and get a bit comfortable on the ball, and they find that balance that give them this 2-goal lead. It's Pachuca just about winning the ball back, but then they give it away cheaply again, and Bellingham tried the reverse ball forward to Vinicius Junior, but not on the same page, those two. Here's the ball wide on the left side here for Pachuca. Kennedy playing to Pallavicino, who will have an effort, but right down the throat of Thibaut Courtois. Well, they've worked a couple of shots well at Pachuca. They've got towards the box, they've got towards Courtois, but the shots they're having are good saves and decent catches from Courtois. So it's certainly not easy street, but the 2 goals for Real Madrid, obviously the advantage that they have in the scoreline is what is keeping them with the coolness and calmness that they have at the moment. But remember, Pachuca are able to get bodies forward. If they can be a bit more efficient, anything is still possible. Alexander-Arnold with a long throw up the line. Intercepted. One back by Vinicius Junior. Played it to the left-hand side. Last couple of seconds of the half. Fran Garcia works it back into midfield. Vinicius Junior. Right, Bellingham. Goulet. And Fede Valverde. And there's the half-time whistle. Well, considering how the first half started for Xabi Alonso's side, at half-time he will be pretty much delighted with how his side have dealt with it and how they've come through that cloudy moment in the first 10 minutes. Jude Bellingham and Arda Güler, the two scorers that has Real Madrid with a 2-goal advantage at the break here in Group H. It's half-time in Charlotte. It's Real Madrid 2, Pachuca 0. Welcome back to the FIFA Club World Cup live here on LFS. Half-time in our second game of the day between Real Madrid and Pachuca in Group H. It is Real Madrid 2, Pachuca 0. Jude Bellingham and Arda Güler with both goals in the first half. And you got to say, obviously the red card for Real Madrid as well. You can't forget that. Raul Asensio sent off after 7 minutes in the game. But for the first half, you talk about it. And it was a very intriguing first half, you gotta say. In the first 10, 15 minutes, it was a lot of Pachuca play, and they started the better. In the first 5 minutes of the game, had a couple of corners, had a couple of decent opportunities to break forward against Real Madrid. And then the red card comes, and it comes in a moment, as I said, where Pachuca were the better side. So Real Madrid were struggling to get involved, and it comes from a long ball over the top towards Solomon Rondon, who'd been causing problems in those early moments. He was their main strike force, their main kind of pinpoint attacker in the early moments for Pachuca. The ball gets played over the top. The back line of Real Madrid, they play a high line, so they're obviously playing an offside trap. And the offside trap doesn't work because Dean Huyson is about 2 or 3 yards deeper than his other defenders, so therefore he plays Solomon Rondon onside, in behind. By the way, he would have been offside if Dean Huyson was in line with his players. So the offside trap was working. It's just one player wasn't in the right position, so it breaks it. Solomon Rondon made the run in behind. He was onside, and then he got in behind, round the right side of Raul Asensio, the wrong side of the defender, from the defender's point of view. And Asensio just kind of goes around him to get to the ball, and he kind of collides with him, and he kind of connects with him, and therefore the referee sees it as a last man challenge. I think it's fair. It's a little bit clumsy from Raul Asensio, if I'm honest, and he gets a straight red card. And that really set Real Madrid even further back than where they were with a poor start in the game. And it took them a real good 15 minutes probably, to get to grips with that and settle into the game and actually create chances. They'd one shot in the game. I think, if I could find it, they didn't have many shots early in the game, Real Madrid, and they struggled up until that moment. Their first shot in the game, so they've had 5 shots, Real Madrid. Their first shot didn't come to the 20th minute, and they didn't find their second shot to then the 30th minute. So they had one shot in the first 30 minutes of the game, Real Madrid. So they struggled to get the ball forward, to get it into the final third, to actually cause Pachuca any sort of threat. And then the Jude Bellingham goal comes, their third shot of the game. In the 35th minute, Jude Bellingham breaks into a great bit of space, gets into the box, played off well by Gonzalo Garcia, I believe, or Fran Garcia, one of the two, one of the Garcias. It plays it through. Bellingham makes that run into the box that we see him so often making from the angle. He absolutely thumps it. He rifles it. There is no way this is not going towards the goal in Jude Bellingham's mind. He is making sure this is, if it hits the keeper, he's making sure it puts a hole in the keeper's body to get through him. It's that thumping of a strike into the bottom right corner. He was determined to get that goal and open the scoring for Real Madrid. And then, once the goal came about, it was like Real Madrid were back. They were just in their natural shape. They were comfortable on the ball to the end of the half. They were caught out a couple of times, and they were still trying to find that balance between attacking and defending with 10 men. It was still making sure they weren't overexerted and overexposed at one end, but also still able to produce at the other end in the attacking third. And then that second goal comes about. It's Alexander-Arnold. The ball fed wide to Alexander-Arnold in space in the right flank. He darts it across the 18-yard box. It's beautiful, I have to say. A wonderfully deft touch from Gonzalo Garcia just to lay it off to Arda Güler, who runs around the defence and just strikes it with his right foot, or with the instep of his left, into the far corner to make it 2-0. Two very good goals, two quality goals, two very well-deserved goals. But Pachuca have had 12 shots, 5 on target. So they're getting opportunities, Pachuca. They're just not testing Thibaut Courtois in enough situations where he kind of is forced into the big save. He's made two probably big saves in that first half. I would say Thibaut Courtois, but nothing where you think, oh, they definitely should have a goal there, Pachuca, or this should definitely have been a goal. They haven't created any gilt-edged chances, in my opinion. A lot of their efforts, a lot of their shots have either been simple enough catches for Thibaut Courtois, or they've been well wide. So kind of tidy that up, and they can be more of a threat, Pachuca. But Real Madrid 2-0 up, not comfortable, but at the moment they're in a very good position, especially considering they were down to 10 men in that first half. Real Madrid, but fairly positive so far for Xabi Alonso's team, obviously negating the red card, obviously. But other than that, it's been a very good first half for Real Madrid. The second half is on the way in just a moment. Do stay with us. Welcome back to the FIFA Club World Cup here on LFS this Sunday evening to round off our Match Day 2 coverage of the group stages. And Group H, Real Madrid 2, Pachuca 0 at the break. Don't forget, though, we start Match Day 3 tomorrow. Group B is our first of 4 groups we have selected for coverage across Match Day 3. And tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock kickoffs in these 2 games. Atletico Botafogo and Seattle Sounders against Paris Saint-Germain. Our focus game, our commentary game will be Atletico Botafogo, but we will have a very close eye, on Seattle Sounders against PSG as well. That's tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Looking forward to that one. The second half is on the way in a moment from the Bank of America Stadium here in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Real Madrid fans are happier, the 2 sets of fans at the moment, but those Pachuca fans will know that their side have kind of missed their chances in that first half and have a lot still to give. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. Hitting that like button does massively help us, so if you could do that, and if you haven't done so already, that would be greatly appreciated. We see there's a lot more of you watching than have liked, so if you could just press that like button, it's free, there's no pressure, just press that button, it'll be fantastic. And thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. And we're very close, as you can see in that top corner there, to 28,000 subscribers. So if you could help us on our journey to 28,000, that would be great if you could press subscribe as well. If you enjoy the content, thank you very much indeed. That's my little ad read done. We're almost ready for the football to return for the second half. That's what you're here for, of course. And we're almost ready. I mean, they're keeping us waiting. They're keeping us waiting. As we've got a shot of the crowd. Oh, someone's got their AirPods in. Not liking the in-stadium music. I prefer my own, thanks. There's the Pachuca players out in the tunnel. Hurry up before I go delusional here, sitting here. So the players, and there's their Jaime Lozano, their head coach. What will he had told them at half-time, the Pachuca players. Missed chances, having the extra man. We'll see what they can produce in the second half to try and change things against Real Madrid. It will be a tough task, no doubt about that. This is Real Madrid we're talking about. I already said that part. There's a lot of the Madridistas. As I said, I mean, you go anywhere in the world and you'll find Real Madrid fans in a football stadium, no doubt about it. And here come Los Blancos, ready for the second half. A first half which didn't start pretty well for them, but it certainly ended much better. There might be an idea of a substitute for one of the 2 teams here. It's going to be for both teams, actually. So Pachuca are going to make a change. They have brought on Gustavo Cabral, replacing Alexi Figueroa. And also coming off, so John Kennedy is on, not the American president. Why did I need to say that? John Kennedy's come on as well, alongside Gustavo Cabral. That double substitution. And Garcia has gone off. Gonzalo Garcia for Real Madrid. He's replaced by Brahim Diaz. So a single sub for Real Madrid at the break, and a double sub for Pachuca. So some changes at half-time for both teams. Let's get ready for this second half. Alan Bautista, by the way. I don't think I said his name once in that first half. Alan Bautista, he has been replaced by John Kennedy. And Alexi Dominguez Figueroa has been replaced by Gustavo Cabral. As the second half's underway then. Real Madrid back and going. 2-0 to the good in North Carolina. Much better than the Al Hilal game a number of days ago. In a much better position despite having one less player on the field. Make it make sense, who knows? But Pachuca had chances. I think they just need to be more efficient in the final third, and they could have a threat, but a 2-goal advantage for Real Madrid is already will be a tough nut to try and break down and crack. And try and get themselves back in this game will be a tougher task as any for the Mexican side. Houston trying to overcommit. They had the benefit of Bellingham there in helping him out. Here is Bellingham to Alexander-Arnold. Of course, joined Real Madrid on a free from Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold spoke fluent Spanish when he was announced to the Real Madrid board, as they do in that kind of presentation fashion in Madrid. And in Spain, you see it at Barcelona as well, they do that kind of press conference-y kind of presentation vibe. And they dress up and they have like a whole ceremony for it all. And Alexander-Arnold came out with his whole Duolingo logbook. I mean, it's great how someone can speak Spanish fluently. But I've only made the decision in 2 weeks. But anyway, yeah, he did make that move from on a free transfer to Real Madrid. Dean Howson at least went for money from Bournemouth. £50 million was his release clause at Bournemouth that Real Madrid paid, and he had an incredible season, Dean Howson, at Bournemouth last year. No doubt he got that. No wonder why he got that big move to Real Madrid. Remember, you can vote for the player of the match on play.fifa.com/POTM, and you can pick who you want to be player of the match. I'll see if I can get that on the screen for you, actually, just to help you out, because someone did mention it. Get that on the screen for you. There we go. There's the information. So if you want to vote for the player of the match, as there's an effort from long distance, again from Pachuca, and that one goes wide, but they're not short of these long rangers, are Pachuca. I think it's the substitute, John Kennedy, that has the effort. It is, and that one goes wide from the Brazilian. That's what I mean, they're having chances, Pachuca, but they're just not taking them. So that information that is going down the bottom of your screen, that is the link to vote for the player of the match for this game. So who you think will be player of the match, and of course you can contribute to that on the FIFA website, and then it will be announced later in the game. So if you're ever so inclined, do get your vote in. Corner for Pachuca, left hand side. Flick on header was right up into the air. Madrid trying to clear it away. Fran Garcia trying to hold off Kennedy here. There's two Kennedys on the field now, which is going to make it even better for me. There's a John Kennedy and a Kennedy. This is just Kennedy. That's what it says. For Pachuca. 2 Pachuca players called Kennedy. That makes it really nice. Palavicino here. Gonzalo's back to Palavicino into the box, and Rondon was trying to dive for it. But Dean Howson had him closely marked, and Rondon could get nowhere near the ball on that occasion from the cross. Nice ball by the Real Madrid midfielder. I think it was Arda Güler actually that played that ball, and Fran Garcia lays it off to Vinicius Jr. Diaz. Back to Valverde. Vinicius Jr. Bellingham. Better from Real Madrid. Arda Güler. Oh, working it back. Oh, a little bit caught there. Sliding in was Chouameni, and he just about did enough to put Kennedy off. That back pass towards Chouameni was just a little bit short, but he made the most of it, Aurelien Chouameni, and did well under pressure. Valverde round the corner. Brahim Diaz, through it goes to Vinicius Jr. Body's in the box. Vinicius Jr. wanted to go himself, and the shot was well charged down. And Valverde trying to scramble for it back, puts it out for a Pachuca throw. And they're trying that long ball in behind. Solomon Rondon's made the run off Chouameni here. He's on his own. 3 white shirts ahead of him. Cuts it back now, Solomon Rondon to Kennedy. Now Kennedy. I told you it would get me confused. Kennedy then Kennedy. As Bellingham, was brought down there. And that will get Real Madrid a free kick. I told you it would confuse you. There's a Kennedy with 1 N, and then there's John Kennedy with 2 N's. That's why I was calling him Kennedy, because I thought it was Kennedy, but it's Kennedy apparently. A free kick here for Madrid around about the edge of their own box. Just passing it around. Valverde looking for Brahim Diaz, who grapples away at his defender, but he's not got the ball. Oh, that's a loose pass, and now it's a breakaway here for Real Madrid. Vinny Jr. leading the charge. Brahim Diaz. Vinicius Jr. couldn't quite get through the defence again. And Pachuca holding on at the moment to what has been a positive start to the second half for Real Madrid. Looked bright, looked energetic. Vinicius Jr. Nice little give and go with Bellingham. Vinicius Jr. rolls it through, looking for Brahim Diaz, but chopped away by Pereira in the defence there. Vinicius Jr. trying to work through the lines again, and the referee's just going to pull this back for a foul. Wide on Brahim Diaz, I believe. So free kick to Real Madrid, high up on the left-hand side. Arda Güler is over this one. Alexander-Arnold took a free kick from the wide area earlier, but it's Arda Güler, the youngster, and one of the scorers from Madrid that's going to take this one. This wide left position. Let's see what this set piece can provide. Güler, left-footed, headed away at the near post, and Valverde with a swiping effort will bounce. Stayed in the field. Alexander-Arnold's cross was headed away in there by Pereira. And a throw in for Real Madrid. Well, Pachuca were beaten narrowly by Red Bull Salzburg on match day 1 in their game. They were 1-0 down in the first half. Oscar Glock opened the scoring, and Brian Gonzalez equalised for Pachuca before it was 2-1 through Karim Onisuo for Salzburg that won them the game, and that meant Pachuca put themselves in a very difficult position after that game on match day 1. That was between 2 teams that might have been under the radar and maybe trying to push for a qualification place into the knockouts. That was probably one of those big games on match day 1. Those two teams. And Salzburg came out on top just narrowly. Past Pachuca. Getting all the way to the Intercontinental final last year. Or the Intercontinental Cup final. Playing Real Madrid. Did Pachuca. They didn't have as easy as a path as Real Madrid did. Real Madrid just got into the final. They got the bye to the final, but Pachuca had to come through a quarter-final, then a semi-final. Oh! That was a deft effort. It was a cross from Gonzalez. It could have turned into a shot there. And Courtois, I think he might have made a save there. Just got a slight glimpse of it as I was watching here, and I saw them breaking forward, Pachuca. Not with major pace, and Gonzalez with a corner, or with the delivery, and Courtois had to palm it behind for the corner. Taken by Pallavicino. Header didn't get very far. Back out to Pallavicino again. Now right-footed Montiel's delivery, the header! Oh, how's it gone wide? It's directed wide, but high. High. In God's name is that not in? High of Pachuca not scored. I think there would have been an offside flag in any case, but my goodness. Pallavicino, and then it's Montiel's delivery. And this headed across and then poked by Solomon Rondon, I think. Yeah, he pokes it closer to the goal, but not close enough. Wow. How Real Madrid have ridden their luck there. And got incredibly lucky not to be behind, or to not have conceded. Wow. That will give Pachuca confidence, though. Gonzalez. Kennedy down this left-hand side. Body's in the box. He will go for goal. And Aurelien Tchouameni's header to clear it away. I said they're having chances. I said that. Just need to make the most of them. Which they didn't in the first half. Can they in this second? Nice ball through the lines. Working it off. Pallavicino, and now Solomon Rondon. Right at the goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, but that's 3 times in the last minute that they've got into a shooting position, Pachuca. That was their 4th or 5th shot of the half already. Huyson trying to find the breaking run of Brahim Diaz down the left. Look, he's busting a gut there, Fran Garcia, but couldn't quite get it. As I was saying about the Intercontinental Cup, it's about trying to find a time to talk about this, because now here come Pachuca again. Gonzalez, Kennedy, Montiel, finding Pallavicino. He will hit one. Well blocked. With the Real Madrid defence, and the body's back for Madrid. As Rodriguez try to work it round the corner to Pallavicino. Has to work it back to Bowerman. And now Montiel. Out wide on the left-hand side it comes. Kennedy's ball in. Cleared away by Tchouameni again. A little bit of one-way traffic at the moment. It's all Pachuca. Kennedy. Kennedy's ball. Oh! Another good save from Courtois. Goodness me. Pachuca are absolutely pummeling the Real Madrid goal at the moment. They're trying to make that extra man count eventually. And they've had 3 or 4 really good efforts. Pallavicino with a cross. Bouncing ball. It's still not cleared. It's bouncing around the box. And it's going to bundle behind for a free kick. Handball. So there was a handball from a Pachuca player. Real Madrid get the free kick. Look at this from John Kennedy. Absolute curler for the right foot. And he almost... That was Gonzalez a little earlier that forced Courtois into a save. They've caused problems massively in the last 5 minutes, and Xabi Alonso knows that he can see it, and that's why he's going to make a double change here. So they made a change at half-time, did Madrid, and they're going to make another 2. at this moment in time. Luka Modric, sorry, and Dani Ceballos are coming on for Madrid. So double change. It looks like Jude Bellingham is coming off, as is Arda Güler. So Bellingham and Güler off, and Luka Modric and Dani Ceballos on. And Modric, of course, will get the captain's armband from Fede Valverde, obviously. And it looked like Pachuca were making changes as well. I'll tell you about those Pachuca changes when I can. Yeah, Rodriguez and Kennedy. Thank God one of the Kennedys went off, because they were confusing me. So Kennedy and Luis Rodriguez are off, and Carlos Sanchez and Javier Lopez are on for Pachuca. Another double substitution for them. They made a double sub at half-time, and they've made a double sub now on the hour mark. So they're trying to go for this full pelt now, our Pachuca. They've got no choice but to. 2-0 down. They've got the extra man. Why not try and pummel the Real Madrid defence? There's a shot! Oh, good save again from Courtois. What an unbelievable job he is doing at the moment. He is keeping Real Madrid in this. It's unbelievable. From Thibaut Courtois. He's having one of those games in a Real Madrid shirt. He's had many of them. Now this is one of them. And that was an effort. Another good one from Kennedy again. And a good save by Courtois. He's making some great saves. Courtois with a kick. Headed down into the midfield here for Pachuca. And that's a clash. And the referee says no foul. Sanchez wanted the free kick off Fran Garcia. He's not going to get one. Championship winners 25-26. Wrexham AFC. Love your ambition. Hi guys, great game. It's been a very good game, very entertaining so far. Very entertaining. Great to have you with us. As Modric tried the ball down the line to Fran Garcia, just overhit it. Montiel. Working in the midfield, Pallavicino. Back to Pallavicino. He linked it up well there in the middle with Montiel as comes out to the left-hand side. Lopez, Gonzalez, Kennedy. Trying to work it between the lines here. Trying to find John Kennedy, but that reverse ball didn't quite work out on that occasion, as they're trying to chase it down here. Alexander-Arnold under a bit of pressure. Nice ball into the midfield for Real Madrid, who have been overrun in the midfield area in the second half so far. That's probably why Dani Ceballos and Luka Modric came on, just to give them that little bit more solid stability for Real Madrid that had been wavering at the start of the second half. I could guess who you were from the name change. Don't worry. As Brahim Diaz there was just in an offside position. 26.5 minutes to go. Chip ball over the top again, targeting towards Rondon. Stan says, I haven't watched the match yet. Is it luck that Real Madrid is winning? Because by stats, 2 shots, 2 goals. Yeah, they've had 2 shots on target, Real Madrid, and the 2 goals. They've been 2 very well created goals, but they've barely had anything other than that really in the game. And, you know, going down to 10 men, they had to be efficient. And I've got to say, Pachuca have had chances, but they've just not been efficient. I mean, they've had 19 shots. Pachuca, 8 on target. I mean, they're pummeling the goal, but Thibaut Courtois is having a great game, and Pachuca are not able to find a way past him just yet. They're not for the want of trying, anyway. Real Madrid have to give all thanks to their goalkeeper at the minute that they're still 2-0 to the good in this one. They're not home and hose just yet, as that cross a little bit overhits. The Mexican wave goes around the Bank of America Stadium. Cross back into the box for Pachuca, but I think that was Sanchez's header in the middle. Didn't quite work out, as that's a little niggly foul, and that's going to be a free kick to Real Madrid. And it was Brahim Diaz that was brought down on the breakaway. And those are the type of moments Real Madrid do need as well. The free kicks, the break-ups of the game, the stop-start nature. They need that to be a theme, because with Real Madrid, with the last player, one less player on the field, you're always going to have to try and find those little dark arts in the game and parts of the game that can just break up the opponent's momentum. Pachuca have been the better side in the second half, and they've been battling to get back into the game, and if Real Madrid can break it up and try and really stifle that momentum, that's how they'll find a way through. If Pachuca can be a little bit more efficient, a little bit more precise when they get to the final third, all they need is a little bit of luck to find a way past Courtois. All the conventional efforts that would probably find a way past them at the minute are not finding a way past them. It's one of those games you probably have to miss-hit it for it to find a way past Thibaut Courtois, because he is on something else at the moment. He's playing a great game so far. That's a lovely little move around the defender there from Fede Valverde. Ceballos intercepted, but Valverde there to help to keep the possession, and Real Madrid do sustain the ball. Caoimhan, Modric, down the right side it comes, and Brahim, Modric. Modric swinging the ball out to the left-hand side here for Vinicius Jr. Trying to have a run down the left channel. He's doubly marked, and Bowerman makes the challenge, and I think the ball did go out of play there. It will be a corner. Stands supporting the underdog. Well, at the moment, the underdog is being kept under... I don't know what I'm trying to say. The underdog's not working at the moment. The underdog story's not on at this minute in time, but you never know. As that's a foul in the box there by Real Madrid. It's going to be a free kick to Pachuca. Kennedy dispossessed there by Dani Ceballos. Nice challenge. The two Real Madrid subs have done their job, although that's a cheap giveaway. And there's an early shot from Lopez, and it had Courtois diving. I think he might have got a touch to it, Thibaut Courtois. It was going wide anyway. It's going to be a corner to Pachuca now. Well, I wouldn't quite say Real Madrid are smashing Pachuca. I think that's a little bit kind of over exuberance, exaggeration a little bit, because they're not smashing them. They're hanging on to a 2-goal lead at the minute, Real Madrid. Ball into the box. The header flicked on over the head of Rondon in the middle. They're not smashing them by any means. And here's Vinicius Jr. trying to break away. It's just Real Madrid have been efficient with their 2 moments of play, their 2 goal-scoring opportunities that they've scored, and Pachuca have had many's a chance that either one, Courtois has made great saves, or They just haven't had a good enough shot. Well, listen. I think we're in this world of Real Madrid, 10 or 11 men, they're going to have the better team. No matter what. It's all about individuals. That's what we've seen from this tournament. It's can you score the goals in the big moments. And here comes Vinicius Jr. for Real Madrid. He's on his own here. Can he find a teammate? He can. Valverde, sorry. Aye, Brahim. He will have a shot. It's back to Valverde, who taps it home. And there's the exact example I was talking about. 3-0 Real Madrid. All down to individuals. And that is how they've done this today. 3 great individuals. 3 great moments. 3-0. Pachuca have been dominant with their chances in the second half. But it's all about finding the net. And that's what Pachuca haven't been able to do. And what Real Madrid have. And Fede Valverde makes it 3. And that is what Real Madrid need to be. They needed it today. They couldn't falter. They couldn't stumble. They had to stand up. They had to be counted. And that red card might have put a bit of doubt in their minds, but never forget the quality of Real Madrid. Pachuca have given their all to try and fight in this game, but if you can't find the back of the net and take your chances, you're never going to have a chance. You're never going to find a way past the Real Madrid side, no matter how many players they have sent off. Real Madrid 3, Pachuca 0. It's almost a carbon copy of how they beat them 12 months ago, or not even 12 months ago. 6 months ago, when they won 3-0 against Pachuca in the Intercontinental Cup final. 3 different scorers on that day to what there has been today. But the scoreline even more significant, with Real Madrid being down to 10. And as Stan in the chat says, 3 shots on target, 3 goals. There's your difference. There's your difference compared to the 9 shots on target that Pachuca have had. And they haven't found the net once. Real Madrid, every shot on target has turned to a goal. That's where it comes down to. Individuals. And today, I mean, we knew Real Madrid have the better individuals, but when they went down to 10, you just thought, is this the kind of upset, the little bit of a negative to Real Madrid that they just didn't need after match day 1. But they've stood up and they've shown their mentality. 10 men or 11 men, they're still Real Madrid, and they've still got great quality players on the field that can make the difference, and that's what it comes down to. That's what beast and a team that Xabi Alonso's got at his helm now. Look at those fans enjoying this. The Madridistas, who don't often get a chance to see Los Blancos, of course, in the States or in this part of the world, but they're loving every second of this performance from Real Madrid today. Switch ball out here to Vinicius Jr. They might not be done yet, Real Madrid. They might want to add more to this. This will be a real demoralising defeat for Pachuca, really. Having had the extra man since the 7th minute, and they haven't been able to make any sort of difference with it whatsoever in terms of the scoreline. Forget about possession, forget about shots on target. The scoreline is what will be remembered, and that's what Pachuca will remember themselves. They could be officially knocked out of this competition tonight. Defeat here would see them having knocked out no matter what happens, actually. This will be them done and dusted, because no matter who gets a result later. Salzburg and Al Hilal draw. Salzburg are in second and still on 4 points, which is unattainable for Pachuca. And either one of those two wins, it will be the same outcome. Salzburg or Al Hilal. That's later on this evening. Pachuca, with a defeat, are out of this competition. Vinicius Jr. chipping it back across. Valverde's in the box. He's dragged wide and he can't find it through. Brahim Diaz has picked up the pieces here. Can he find it? Good save by Moreno. And Fede Valverde has gone down in the box, but I think the referee's just going to call an end to this little moment. Exactly right. Different class with top teams. They get one chance and nail it. 100%. That's the difference when you're against the top team. And, you know, we said it, and we've talked about it with a lot of the teams that have played well against these big European sides, or these big sides with just in a cooling break at the moment, so they'll rehydrate themselves, the players. We'd have this chat. But the difference is the quality in the final third. The difference, that's as simple as that. It's about taking your chances when they come. You can create chances, you can get forward, you can get into good areas, you can create moments. But if you don't take those moments, you don't have the quality to take those moments, then you're never going to win. You're never going to find that win over a big opponent. And that's where a lot of those teams that have played big teams, yes, they might have played well, but they haven't been able to find the goals. And it's a similar theme I've witnessed in a number of games. You know, I'll go back to Wydad, who we watched earlier this evening against Juventus. And Juventus played really, really well in that one. Wydad weren't as good as they were against Man City, and they still scored in that game, actually, to be fair. But they kept Juventus at bay in the first half. But again, when it came to the second half, and they started well, Wydad, they couldn't take it. They couldn't find that equaliser to get them right back into the game. And then Juventus scored their third, and the game was done. I take it back to even the Mamelodi Sundowns. They fought back against Borussia Dortmund, but were absolutely destroyed. Their quality, missed chances, didn't let them through. You know, I'll tell you about multiple teams against multiple opponents that I've watched, and I can say, yeah, you've played well, but your chances, you missed so many chances, you missed great chances. You didn't take your chances when you got in the final third. And that's the difference. I mean, it might seem a bit simple. It's football. You put the ball in the back of the net more times than the opponent, you win games. Down to the basics, but you know, it comes down to quality in the final third, and it's as simple as that. As we get, we're getting back underway. We're just seeing the goals again. Bellingham with the first, Goulart with the second, and then of course Fede Valverde with the third for Real Madrid. Don't forget tomorrow though, Group B match day 3 action tomorrow, 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. We'll be live. Atletico against Botafogo is our commentary game, and we'll be watching as well PSG's opponents in Seattle Sounders taking on PSG. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock. PSG. Real Madrid have made a change. Their fourth change of the game? Yeah, fourth change of the game. Trent Alexander-Arnold has made way, so he's going to have another well-deserved rest. And he's been replaced by Antonio Rudiger. So Rudiger on for Alexander-Arnold. And Pachuca also made a change a moment or two ago. Brought on Guzman for Pallavicino as well. So they've made 5 subs. Pachuca, Real Madrid 4. 1 left. Yeah, 100%. It is the final third that makes the difference. That's the way it goes. It stands as I don't witness fire in Pachuca's eyes. I think they fought for it today. They have, and I got to give them credit because they have, Pachuca, no doubt about it. But again, as we say, it's the hard fought part of the game. You know, some people say, you know, oh, you have to score goals, you have to do this and the other. Scoring goals is the most difficult thing to do in football. Like, people forget that at times. It's not easy to just go run up the field and score a goal. It's a lot more complicated than that. And scoring goals is the most difficult thing to do. And that's why the best teams are the best at it. And Pachuca have given their all today, no doubt about it. They've fought, but fight isn't enough when you can't find the back of the net. It's that simple. Yeah, they're trying to find the back of the net here, and here's the shot that Courtois can't save this time. And Pachuca have got a goal. Talk about a commentator's curse. 3-1. Elias Montiel from distance hit one right at Courtois, and he couldn't keep that one out. 3-1. Surely they can't. There's no way, surely. Surely. That's all I'll say. Only 10 minutes to go. That'll give them something, and that's the youngster, 19-year-old Elias Montiel. Real Madrid 3, Pachuca 1. Maybe it'll make it a little bit more feisty for Pachuca. No clean sheet for Real Madrid, but I don't think that's their big worry at the moment. Real Madrid have to sit a little bit deeper, and they have to deal with this now. They might come under the real cosh in the final 10 minutes. Pachuca will try and throw everything at this. They've got nothing to lose. Ball into the box, round on a cross. Bubbling around, it's still not cleared. That's going to be a foul. No, that's not. It's going to play on there. As Valverde went flying to the ground, I thought the referee was going to give a free kick, but he's allowed them to play on, and it's going to be a throw on the far side. Could that reignite some chance for Pachuca? That goal. It's highly unlikely, but unlikely doesn't mean impossible. Stan says, who do you support tomorrow, Atletico or Botafogo? Well, Botafogo have a chance to make it 3 wins from 3 in the group, which would be fantastic for them. They would top the table, and they've beaten Seattle Sounders and PSG, so if they complete the hat-trick, that would be wonderful for them. Atletico need to win. It's that simple. They need to win tomorrow and hope that a result goes their way elsewhere, but that's where it comes down to. It's going to be a tough fought game, but I would say Atletico should, with the need to win it, should win it. But again, PSG were beaten by Botafogo, so they've done it to probably the best team in the group. Why couldn't they do it to Atletico? So, yeah, I would say Botafogo have a very good chance, but Atletico need the win, and they've got quality, no doubt about it. There's another chance. That one's directed well wide. Out for the goal kick. That's true, there's a lot of money in this. I think the winner gets £100 million. If you win this competition, you get £100 million prize money, which is fascinating. It's not as much as you would get over a Champions League season if you won it, because cumulatively you'd get more out of the Champions League season. But for a tournament that most teams called a glorified friendly a few years ago, to get £100 million if you win it, not too shabby. That would be, what, 7 games? 7 games you play? 3 group games, round of 16, quarter-final, semi. Yeah, 7 games. You try and get £100 million. For teams like Real Madrid, it's not about winning the trophy. It's one about the optics of it all, to making sure that they look like the biggest team in the world. They are the world champions. It's that all about the status of it. But here's Valverde towards the box. He's well challenged and seen out well there. But it's all about status for Real Madrid. And obviously, who doesn't want a bit of money? They might need it. Certainly Spanish football needs it a little bit. That's why Real Madrid are trying to steal everybody's players running down their contracts. Can't massively afford to do anything else to very much extent. Real Madrid. Well, listen, of course, Real Madrid need the money, obviously. But I'm saying, you know, for a club like Real Madrid, they have that pride within them. They have that kind of like narcissism that they're the biggest club in the world. And no doubt they probably are the biggest club in the world. But I mean, like, the badge on their shirt is something that they would take incredibly seriously. Oh, look at us. We have that gold badge on our shirt with the word the world champions. I mean, my team has won the Club World Cup, and it was nice to call yourself the world champions. It's a nice thing to call you, but of course, I mean, football is about money. A lot of it. Not to be too cynical, but for us fans, it's not about money. It's about enjoying the game. That's what we love. That's why we do it, and why we watch it. Oh, a chance here. Courtois made the save again. I think that was number 14 for Pachuca. Working into the box. This substitute Carlos Sanchez there had that half an effort. Wish Wrexham was in it. Well, European teams get in it based on their kind of Champions League performance. That's how European teams get into the competition. It's based on how good you are Champions League wise, how good your performances in the Champions League are. That's how all the European teams got into this competition. All based on their European UEFA rankings over the last 4 years. And then 3 winners of the Champions League. Chelsea, Real Madrid and Man City all got through because they won the Champions League recently. Bayern Munich, PSG, Inter Milan, Porto, Benfica, Dortmund, Juventus, Atletico and RB Salzburg all got it based on eligible sides that qualified basis of their country. And I think there's only 2 teams from each country allowed by UEFA rules into the competition. So that's why, like, there's probably more teams in bigger countries. Like England would probably have a lot more based on the European performances, but I think there's a maximum of 2 teams, or 2 teams from each country allowed in the competition. I think that's what it is. Four minutes of the 90 to go, and Real Madrid are going to make that 5th and final change now. Vinicius Junior's coming off, and he's going to be replaced here by Munoz. Victor Munoz, Spaniard, 21 years old, bringing some youth through this year at Real Madrid. There's no doubt about the academies of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Probably the best in the world at producing young stars and showcasing them on the big stage. That goal from Pachuca just looks like it is a consolation. Unless they can get a second anytime soon, within the next minute or so, it could be more than just a consolation. But for now, it still stands that Real Madrid are in firm grip of this match. That's the way we stand at the moment. Pachuca just trying to work it between the lines, trying to find something of a chance to find a second goal. Sanchez with a cross in, and ball towards Kennedy was slightly knocked towards Courtois, and that will be easily caught by the Real Madrid goalkeeper. And Chelsea are in shit's creek. I'm not really worried about Chelsea. I couldn't give a shit about them, if I'm honest. No disrespect, but their financial status, they've just played themselves into a horrible bit of trouble. But who cares? They've got the Champions League money, though, to help them a little bit for next season. And then, as you say, maybe this competition could help them in some way. I don't know what's going on at Chelsea. Off the field, it's just very bizarre what's going on there. I still don't think their owner has a clue what's going on, but anyway. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. 3-1 to Real Madrid, 10-man Real Madrid. They've been down to 10 since the 7th minute of this game. They then proceeded to go 3-0 up down to 10 men, and then Pachuca got a goal back in the last 5-10 minutes, and thought they were maybe conjuring a little bit of a comeback, but it's kind of stifled a little bit in the last 5 minutes with those substitutions. Yes, I am a Liverpool fan, yeah. If you couldn't tell from my comments about Trent Alexander-Arnold earlier. I tried to be as cool and calm and collected as I possibly could. But, I'm sorry. I have to get a sly remark in there every now and again. You know? Has to be done. Has to be done. So we've got Jeremy Frimpong and Connor Bradley. I'd prefer. Yeah, that's not bad. And I guarantee it, that second Real Madrid goal, everybody going, oh, look at the ball Trent Alexander-Arnold played. No, the one I focused on, Gonzalo Garcia, what a touch. Just to lay it off so perfectly for Arda Güler to finish. Right, additional time, 5 additional minutes at the end of this second half. Long ball into the mix, cleared away from the Pachuca corner. John Kennedy here, trying to conjure it up. Get something, a little bobble away, and he tried to cross it, Kennedy there, but Courtois was quick, and Courtois caught it. The dirty red shirt. Still trying to get the ball forward, Pachuca. Real Madrid have just sat off. They don't really need to do anything. I mean, you look at the stats, it's complete dominance in terms of the stats from Pachuca, but the most important stat is the scoreline, and that's all that matters, is that shot. Skied over the bar again. I mean, if I had a pound for every time Pachuca had shot over the bar today, I'd be able to afford a pint of milk, because it's got very expensive. But yeah, their efforts have been really wasteful. They're flying for those kind of long rangers, and they're just not working. This will be the end of their tournament within the next couple of minutes. They will, of course, play the third game, obviously, as is they have to. But of course, it will mean nothing to them. They will play Al Hilal on match day 3. And that could be huge for Al Hilal, playing a team that really isn't in the competition come that point. He's offside. As Rondon play that through, that's an offside. Definitely. I knew the flag was going to go up. But yeah, for Pachuca, they will be going out within the next 3 minutes. But for Al Hilal, who they play on match day 3, that could be a blessing in disguise, in a sense. See how they perform against Salzburg tonight, Al Hilal, but they could have a real push at getting out of this group. And that trusty result against Real Madrid, that draw, might just be much bigger than it turned out to be after that game. Might that be the difference between qualifying and not qualifying for Al Hilal? We'll see when they play Salzburg. That's 11 o'clock kickoff UK time this evening. We'll be back, of course, Atletico Botafogo tomorrow, 8 o'clock, for the Group B wrap-up, to see which of the 2 teams out of that group that will be heading through to the round of 16, and we'll play the teams in Group A, of course. We'll have all the information for you tomorrow before the game and after the game as well, and what could be the intended outcomes. Right, here come Real Madrid on the move. Rudiger here was in the middle. He's gone down there, Antonio Rudiger. I don't know what he's crying about, but here we go. Real Madrid into the box again. The chip ball across. Too high towards Munoz. That's caught by Moreno. We should have taken Paul Mullen. Really? Nah, come on. Mohamed Salah. Salah's the best player in the world. Certainly one of them. I mean, what is that from Antonio Rudiger? I mean, he fell over nothing. He fell over nothing. Get up. Ah, shut up and get up, will you? Christ almighty. Look at him. Get a grip. Like such an idiot. Such a big deal out of nothing. Get up and play on. Such a stupid idiot. The referee just has to deal with this. I mean, if I was Xabi Alonso, I'd have no time for that. I would have punched him. I would have told him exactly how I feel. I don't like players doing that. Just making a big deal out of nothing. Like, play on. Get a grip. And he's still arguing with the referee here. If I was a referee, I'd just book him and walk away. He's just instead walked away. The referee's like, shut up. As he should do. What's that about? That'll be excellent. 5 minutes are up. Referee, if I was you, I'd just blow the whistle. As, the referee has to explain to the other players just what's going on. Antonio Rudiger, just a complete idiot. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, everybody who's joining us for this one. About to hit the final whistle, and then we'll show you what way Group H looks like, along with Group G after match day 2. Or not completely concluded yet, either group, but we'll show you what way they're looking heading into the final 2 games of this match day 2. Referee will just play a drop ball here for Pachuca, but should just blow the whistle here if he has any sense. Here's Kennedy for Pachuca into the box. They come. Couldn't quite get anywhere near getting the shot off there, Pachuca. And that's broken away by Real Madrid again. So the Antonio Rudiger pantomime has delayed us a couple of minutes here. He's trying to get his shot at Broadway or something. Whatever he's trying to do, it just made me a little bit annoyed. Ball up the field. I like what you said there. It's a contact sport. It is. But there was no contact. That was the crazy thing. There was nothing. Nothing in it. And he's crying at the referee like, shut up. It really frustrates me. Like if it was players in my team who I support, I would be fuming. I just tell you to get a hold of yourself. Like, throwing your toys out of the pram or maybe out of the bathwater, whatever these mad sayings are. Just get a grip. Simply. We have a good saying here in Northern Ireland. Wise up. There's the final whistle. And there it is for Real Madrid. 3 points. As I said, a game that didn't really start the way they would have wanted it to, with getting a man sent off so early. But 3 goals from 3 quality players. Jude Bellingham, Arda Güler and Fede Valverde made it 3-0 to the 10 men of Madrid. Pachuca got one back, thought they could probably conjure a comeback when Elias Montiel found the net, but it was just a mere consolation in the end. Pachuca are out officially. They can't make it through no matter what happens. Real Madrid 4 points out of a possible 6, still to play Salzburg on match day 3. And Rudiger is having to be escorted off the field because he's having another strop. Like a 3-year-old child rather than a grown man. So there you go. What a surprise. Final score from the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's finished Real Madrid 3, Pachuca 1. Thank you very much for joining us. Great to have you with us for this one. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Great to have you all chatting in the chat and enjoying the game with us. And we do look forward to more here from the Club World Cup tomorrow. As I said, Group B, match day 3 tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Atletico against Botafogo is our commentary game, and alongside Seattle Sounders against Paris Saint-Germain will be watched as well. Thank you very much for joining us. It's great that you joined us this evening as well. And we'll see you again tomorrow. For now, thanks for your company. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.